Welcome to the 757 Connection, the best way to stay connected in your community. From the lands of the east, we're giving you our best take on what's going on. My name's Henry.
My name is Caleb.
And we are
the 757 Connection.
We have two special guests today. First of all, Miss Sara Snowden. And we want to say, how are you today, first of all?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
No problem. What is your role in the city of Hampton?
I am the Deputy Coordinator of Emergency Management. I work for the Hampton Office of Emergency Management, and we are responsible for planning for and coordinating the response to emergencies or disasters in the city of Hampton that impact a large group of people. A big part of our role is to coordinate with other city departments. We don't handle these emergencies on our own. When something happens on a large scale, whether it's a natural disaster or a man-made situation, so we could be talking about hurricanes, floods, active shooters, train derailments, plane crashes, any type of hazard, we coordinate with all of the city departments who each have a prescribed role in responding to that type of situation. That could include the police and fire department, who you often think about, the first responders who are out helping to save lives on the street, but also the people who work behind the scenes, such as Public Works. They do an amazing job of things such as keeping the storm drains clear. Parks might be out clearing trees from the road so that people can move safely about the city. And we also work with the Department of Human Services, who provides emergency sheltering in the event that people have to evacuate from their homes. And in addition to the city departments, we work with community partners as well. And that could include private sector organizations such as Dominion Energy, who would be restoring your power, which is a very important thing in any disaster.
Right.
And it could also be faith-based organizations or others who are helping to provide resources to the community to help them recover.
Thank you. Now, the next question is, what is the importance of, collaboration, specifically in the field of emergency preparedness?
Collaboration is critical to everything we do because our Office of Emergency Management has 3 full-time employees and 2 part-time. So as a team of 5, we really couldn't do everything on our own. So It's absolutely vital that we collaborate. And when we talk about emergency preparedness, one of our most important collaborations is with the public. It's helping people to be ready to take care of themselves to the fullest extent possible in any disaster, because all of the first responders and departments that we've talked about that help in these situations can't possibly do it all. So it's really important for each of us as individuals and for households to be prepared for any type of emergency. And what I will also help or like to talk about is that emergency preparedness is one phase of the emergency management cycle. So we have the preparedness is huge, and we like to work with people of all ages. So we like to partner with youth, and we're so glad that you're out there. We're even working with children to help them get this message. And we work with adults. We work with senior citizens as well, so that everyone can be prepared with knowledge and with the resources, the actual supplies that they need in an emergency. And then there are several other phases to what we consider a cycle. So there's preparedness and there's response. If something actually happens, being able to meet that need in the moment. And then we have a period called recovery after the actual disaster occurs, when people are trying to pick up the pieces and rebuild and get back to normal. And that can be a really stressful time and require a lot of support and assistance. And then finally, there's mitigation. And mitigation is a word that we don't use in day-to-day conversation very often. But essentially, mitigation involves taking a look at what happened, learning lessons from it, and saying, how can we lessen the impact of the next disaster? So one example of this, if you look around the city of Hampton, are some of the homes that have been elevated.
Mm.
Have you seen any of the homes that are, 5, 6, 7, 8 feet off the ground on cinder block foundations? Well, that's because those homes have repeatedly flooded and endangered those residents, ruined their belongings, caused them to have major home repairs multiple times. So rather than just responding to that each time it happens, what it's important to do is try to mitigate or lessen the impact of future storms on them. So we elevate those homes to reduce the chance that they're going to flood again in the future.
That's good. We want to thank you, Ms. Snowden, for being on the show today. We want to turn our attention to our second guest. They're representing the Academy of the College Experience here at Phoebus High School. And they have been partnering with Ms. Sara Snowden and her office to work on emergency preparedness and things such as that. So I'd like for you to share your name and what grade you're in. I'm sure all of you are in the same grade. But...
Yeah.
Okay.
My name is Karis Winder. I'm 10th grade.
My name is Letty Rivera. I'm in 10th grade.
My name is Zanae Thurman. I'm in 10th grade.
My name is Dante James. I'm also in 10th grade.
So is there a specific name of your group, or you just been calling it?
We've just been the ACE 10th grade team.
Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing on March 11th?
So on March 11th, we're going to be partnering with the 757 Connection to go out into the community at 2 different locations. One is Derby Run and the other is Bridgeport, to give out emergency preparedness kits and tools and tips to inform our community in a hands-on way, and hopefully to get the message about just being prepared for emergencies ahead of time.
Right.
Because as Ms. Snowden said, like, there's multiple steps of emergencies, and we're just focusing on one today, just to get people prepared ahead of time.
That's good.
So what are some community events that you guys have participated in?
Well, recently we partnered with the North Phoebus Community Center, and we reached out to the children. We took some of our emergency preparedness kits down there, and we talked to them a little bit about what emergency preparedness was, why it was important, and even a little bit about what evacuation may look like. And like they were able to name some of the different natural disasters, like tornadoes and hurricanes and all that, the kiddie stuff that we learned. And we kind of just gave them a little bit of insight on what our purpose is and why we decided to do what we're doing.
And then when we did our actual presentation, we presented, I'm not sure the exact number, we presented a decent number of bags to Ms. Snowden, so she could pass them out in the community within her own office as well.
That's
But
good.
I do know that we assembled somewhere around 150 emergency kits.
Okay, that's good. Now, based on your research that you did, preparing for your presentation, what is some advice for being prepared for emergencies within Hampton and our area?
There's a lot of different and good information that you can find. We were actually given a lot of resources by some of our teachers. And really, one of the main things is like two big things is kind of, well, I say 3, like knowing where your family is,
Right.
Making sure you have like the items that you need, and then just knowing how to get out. And those are just some 3 basic factors. There's plenty more information. And then like one major thing to keep in mind is called the 3 R's. Let's see exactly what they are, but it's rest,
Replenish,
yeah,
and restore.
yeah. So just keep in mind, like, just to be aware of your own bodily functions,
Right.
and just what you need, and then make sure you have all the supplies that you need, and that you're staying healthy as well, and then just replenish the resources that you need at least once a year. And some of those items include like first aid, identification, toiletries, medications, your phone, contact information, water, food, etc.
Now, to round out this podcast today, we usually ask all of our guests for an advice for success. And it can be relating to emergency preparedness, but it can be totally different, just about success. So I'm going to start with Ms. Snowden. Is there any advice of success that you could give our listeners today?
So I would strongly encourage you to have a plan, to be ready for all types of emergencies that could occur, and to practice your plan. Be mindful everywhere that you go, your surroundings at home and school, and when you go out to the mall or a movie theater, take just a moment to think how you would get out in an emergency, where you would go, what you would do. And practice using drills, the kind of things that you do at school, such as fire drills and active shooter drills. If your family practices at home their escape plan in the event of a fire, those are all important things that are training your brain how to respond in an emergency so that you don't freeze. Because really, that advanced preparedness through thinking through your plan or having the necessary resources and supplies on hand will help you to survive best in an emergency.
All right, thank you. Now for our ACE Academy group, I usually would ask all of you to say something, but whoever wants to, give advice to success today.
I'm going to go first.
Okay.
In light of both emergency preparedness and otherwise, I think it's very important to stay connected when trying to be successful. In light of emergency preparedness, stay connected with your family members and your friends and even with your community to be aware of what's going on around you and what may be upcoming that you may need to prepare for is very important to be successful. And otherwise, I would say that knowing your resources and being able to showcase your talent and what you may bring to the table as an individual will take you a long way.
That's good.
And can I just say on behalf of the city of Hampton that we applaud all of your efforts. We applaud what you're doing to go out and talk to the children, to help them be mindful and to grow up thinking about preparedness, but also taking that message back to their families. You're educating a lot more people than you're aware of. And for those of you who are running the 757 podcast here, we applaud your efforts as well, because communication is absolutely vital in everything that we do for emergency preparedness. So we thank you for getting the word out as well.
Thank you for that. Well, we want to thank Miss Snowden and the 10th grade ACE Academy team. We're really excited for this partnership. We're really excited to get some good things done. Community impact is what this podcast is really about, and it's really something that we take to heart. And we're really excited for March 11th. So we're going to be pushing out some information and some flyers as well on social media and such. We just want to remind you all that you're never too young to make a change.